Welcome back, troglodytes, to another very, very special edition of Trogly's Guitars. This is what is known as a Les Paul Limited Edition Super Custom. No, this isn't some crazy new thing from Gibson. This is from the year 1980, and this is a heavily unknown model, even more obscure than like the Les Paul and the Brazilian Custom. I had not even heard of this model until about 6 months ago. When I first saw one of these, I didn't know what to think. Was it a custom order of some nature? Because you have a beautiful flame top and back and sides, just like a Les Paul, but you have the fretboard and neck of a 25/50th anniversary Les Paul, and the headstock of a regular custom. So is this some type of custom order type thing? No, this is known as the Les Paul Super Custom, made from 1980 through, I believe, 1984. So these were made in extremely limited numbers to about 50 to 60 pieces. Neil Schon is a very famous user of one of these. You can see him play his in a cherry sunburst that's not as dark as this and has cream hardware in a lot of his music videos, such as Any Way You Want It. These are very interesting guitars because they were made as an end-run series to the Les Paul. Basically, these are a Les Paul, just with kind of a different style neck on it. So if you can't afford a Les Paul, these are usually a little bit cheaper than one of those. So let's go ahead and look into the condition of this one. You can see the lacquer has aged quite a bit on this example, and you do have a few light nicks and dings slash light scratches. This is the biggest one right here, but overall it's in pretty good shape. Even very dark aged into the lacquer, very nice and ambered. You can see the truss rod cover says Les Paul Limited Edition, and that's kind of the downfall of this model and the Les Paul, is their names make them incredibly hard to search on the internet. Les Paul Limited Edition is going to pull up a whole crap ton load of guitars, and typing in the Les Paul is going to take you to a bunch of other Les Pauls. They're so hard to search for them just by their name, and that's why these models are a little bit more obscure. But these have a brass nut, just like a lot of the other high-end Les Pauls back in the late 70s. These custom block inlays have dashes through them, and that makes them known as the Super 400 inlays. It has an ebony fretboard with, your typical low wide frets and 60s neck profile. The body is heavily flamed Austrian maple, and this is a full-sized maple top here. However, the body is a mahogany core with laminate maple sides, same Austrian highly flamed maple. And what that means, it's not like a veneer. I'm not 100% sure if I have this terminology 100%, but a laminate means it's thicker than a veneer, as a veneer is just a very small layer put over top. A laminate is definitely thicker, so it's not the same thickness as the top. You can see that in my Inside Look series of this guitar when we look into the back and the pickup cavities. But that makes these very unique and interesting guitars. You can see this one is in very good condition. You do have some very light, play wear, but overall it is fairly clean for what it is. Mainly just up here some light polish scratches. This one has not been played too often. Everything is stock on this guitar. However, I'm guessing very early on in this guitar's life, some crazy guy with a router and a desire for a different pickup took the original T-tops out, and whatever pickup they wanted to put in here, they had to do a little bit of extra routing along the bottom of each of these. It's not a lot. You can't see it unless the pickups are out, but I'm guessing whatever pickups they had put in here, the cover was thicker and they needed just a little bit of extra room. So that's what kind of made this example a little more affordable compared to some of the other ones. But the original T-tops are back in. The wiring is fairly undisturbed. I mean, obviously the wires for the pickups have been moved, but everything else is stock on this guitar and unmolested besides those areas. The back of the headstock, serial number 80600016, which makes this Kalamazoo, made in USA. Your typical Gibson Schaller-made tuners. You have a volute, but you're going to notice the volute isn't as pronounced on these as on a V Les Paul. V Les Pauls have giant things, but they have the 5-piece maple neck. And this example, heavily flamed. Just look at all this flame. I love this neck. Pictures do it no justice. Hopefully this video kind of shows you guys just how beautiful this guitar is. Something to note is on the sides of the neck here, you can see there is some light lacquer wear where it's white versus the amber. It's kind of hard to see that in such extreme lighting, but it is kind of mainly in this area there. However, the treble side, it's not as bad. It's just the binding's still white on the top here. Back of the guitar, just as heavily and evenly flamed as the top, if not even more so. That's something I forgot to mention, is underneath the pickguard, it's heavily flamed too. I mean, there are no weak spots in this. Don't think of these bodies as leftovers because they weren't any good. Think of them as leftovers because they ran out of wood parts, so they couldn't make that series anymore, so they made the super custom. But no buckle rash really to speak of. I mean, obviously you'll have some light polishing scratches here or there, but overall, I mean, this is a clean example. It's a shame about the routing, but since you don't see it, I mean, I guarantee you, if I wouldn't have told you, you would have never even found out. It's just a beautiful guitar, and I want to be honest about the condition. The sides of the guitar, same as the back. Inside's beautiful Austrian maple. And you have a little piece of binding here. I'm guessing that they didn't want to keep curving the laminate tops, so they kind of have these sections off here. Something I forgot to point out is there is a little spot right here that looks like a rosewood or mahogany that they also have to cap off, because I believe they can't get the laminate to curve like that. I don't know, I could be wrong on that. If you know the true reason why those are there, let me know. But super heavily flamed back, sides, neck. This is just the ultimate guitar from the Norlin era. We'll take a look under blacklight here to make sure there's no breaks, cracks, or repairs or anything, but this one's a pretty nice, clean, even glow everywhere. See the front of the body here, beautiful even glow. And this is kind of a heavily aged example. You can see maybe a little bit of clear coat wear there, probably from resting against the case and rubbing around, but overall, good shape on the front. Back at the headstock time, everything's looking good here as well. You can see some very light clear coat wear there, once again probably from rubbing against the case or a player's arms. But no breaks, cracks, or repairs to speak of. And the back's not chewed up by buckle rash or anything like that. Once again, you've got some light clear coat wear there, but once again, you can't really see that in normal lighting. It's just, this is a really beautiful custom. And I wish there was more of these out there. Like, not too many. Like, I wish there was 500, because I'm guessing I'll never see another one of these for quite some time, if ever. Being made of all this maple, it's pretty heavy at 11 pounds, 0.2 ounces, so just a hair over 11, which isn't really too bad considering all the maple. This guitar does come with its original case, and it's in just as good a shape as the guitar is. Obviously you have some collection wear and tear overall. Got some light scratches here, but the Gibson logo looks good. All latches are current and functioning. Locking latch works. 5 latches total, including the locking latch, and handle still functioning. And it is the red interior. Now this guitar also could have came with a chainsaw case due to its age, but these cases also were made along the chainsaw cases. So it is era correct for this guitar, and I believe 100% original to it. Inside here, right now there's nothing, but when you get it, it'll have all this nice case candy, including the original cable lead it had, the original strap. These are worth quite a bit on their own. And a lot of the case candy, including the original receipt here. Back new in 1980, this guitar was $1,100. To put that into perspective, a regular Les Paul Custom in this time frame was around $450 to $500 new, so it was a little over double a regular Les Paul Custom. Have an important notice here to read. You have the original case keys in this little envelope if you'd like to lock your case there. And you have the original warranty paperwork. So you can see this was sold as Les Paul Limited Edition 3, whatever that means, with the serial number. And then inside here you can see a little bit more information on it. Once again, it says Limited Edition 3 AFB, which I believe stands for Antique Fireburst. So very cool to have complete case candy on this one. The cleans will be running through a Gibson Super Gold Tone GA30 RV. If you're interested in owning this Gibson Super Custom, too bad, it's already sold, going to one of my collector buddies. However, if you'd like me to help you search one of these out, feel free to contact me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Troglys, TROGOYS. I hope you troglodytes enjoy this special edition. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.